This is a Sports Catastrophe production.
Hey there, Heather Ho there. It's Jeff Gardner. Welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe on this day. Yes, there's a new on this day. I know that you'd be waiting. Wait, every day couldn't be boring, but because of the rule that I only do one per year and all that, couldn't find anything interesting. But now I'm due. It's June 8th, 1989. It's the Pittsburgh Pirates versus the Philadelphia Phillies. Both teams suck. They're not doing so well. On a clear Thursday night in front of 18,000 fans at Veterans Stadium, you could tell how bad the Phillies were because only 18,000 fans showed up. The Phillies would play the Pirates. And all that. And this was just after Mike Schmidt retired. Pittsburgh was looking huge. Bob Walk would face Larry McWilliams as the starting pitchers. The Pirates had Barry Bonds in left field, Jose Lind at second, Andy Van Slyke in center, Bobby Bonilla at third, Gary Redis in right, Jeff King at first, Ray Quinn as shortstop, Junior Ortiz catcher, Bob Watt being your pitcher. The Phillies starting lineup was Randy Reddy at third, Tom Herr at second, Von Hayes at first, John Kruk in left, Juan Samuel in center, Dwayne Murphy in right, Dickie Vaughn shortstop, Darren Dalton catcher, and the pitcher was Larry McWilliams. So, it looked like the game was over. And all that. Well, after Barry Bonds walked and Jose Lind grounded out for a force out, the runs came calling in on McWilliams. McWilliams gave an RBI single to Van Slyke. After Bonilla singled, Redis had a single to score Van Slyke. Jeff King was intentionally walked to load the bases for Ray Quinones, who hit a 2 RBI double to make it 4-0 for the Pirates. The Phillies were angry. Enough was enough. Larry McWilliams out, Steve Ontiveros in. But Junior Ortiz walked. Bob Walk hit a single to score 2 runs, and he was the pitcher, making it 6-0. Barry Bonds then struck a 3-run shot, scoring himself, Ortiz, and Walk. Fortunately, they got a second out when Jose Lind grounded out. But Van Slyke singled, Bonilla walked, Redis hit a single, making it runners on first and third. And after Jeff King walked, the bases were loaded for Quinones again. And he grounded out. So the Pirates had scored 10 runs on 8 hits, left the bases loaded 10-0. And Pittsburgh was looking good. In fact, before Randy Reddy got up to the plate, Pittsburgh color commentator on the radio, Jim Rookered, who was once a former Pirates pitcher, said, "If the Pirates blow this lead, I'll walk back to Philadelphia." The 300-mile journey was huge. Little did he know that the third batter for the Phillies, Von Hayes, would hit a 2-run home run to make it 10-2. Okay, no big deal. And for some strange reason, Steve Jeltz came in to play second base for Tom Herr. I was like, what happened to Herr? He lined out, but did he tweak something? Then, after Jeltz walked in the bottom of the third, Hayes picked him up with a home run to score himself and Jeltz. So it was 10-4. No big deal. Pirates were doing okay. But then Steve Jeltz got up to the plate, and with Randy Reddy on first base, took a pitch from Bob Walk and hit a home run to make it 10-6. That was it for Walk. He couldn't last the 5 innings needed for the win. So Bob Kipper would be in to replace him. Greg Harris came in for the top of the 5th for Pittsburgh. For Philly, and gave up an RBI double to Van Slyke. Unfortunately, Van Slyke got greedy, went to third base, and got cut down. So, the Pirates were still up 11-6. Ricky Jordan came in for Dwayne Murphy for the Phillies in the bottom of the 5th. In the 6th, Ricky Jordan went to first base. Von Hayes went to right field. Pirates retired in order, and then after a pair of walks to Darren Dalton and Randy Reddy, Steve Jeltz comes up to the plate and somehow hits a home run off Kipper to make it 11-9. So the Philadelphia Phillies were only 2 runs back after being down 10-0. Von Hayes would strike out, John Kruk would hit a double, Bill Landrum would become pitcher and replace Jeff King in the lineup, moving Gary Redis to first base from right field, and then John Cangolese would play right field. Juan Samuel singled, Ricky Jordan hit an RBI single to make it 11-10. Dickie Vaughn did strike out, but the Pirates were in trouble. Their win probability went from 95% to 71 in the span of one inning. The Phillies would make moves in the seventh as Don Carmen became the pitcher after Greg Harris gave up a single to John Cangalese. Von Hayes would move back to first base, and Kurt Flood would play right field. Bonds and Lind were out, so it was 11-10. Bottom of the seventh, Philly didn't do anything. Pirates in the eighth, nothing. So Jeff Robinson would come in to pitch and would replace Gary Reedus in the lineup. Benny DiStefano would come in to play first base. Von Hayes grounded out. John Kruk singled, and then Juan Samuel walked. So they went for a pinch hitter, Bob Dernier, who was a decent Cub/Philly. He walked. Bases were loaded for Dickie Vaughn, and then he got in on a wild pitch by Jeff Robinson. Tie game. Vaughn would be intentionally walked to get to Darren Dalton. Roger Samuels came in to pitch, but he gave up a single to Dalton to score Samuel and Damier. And then Kurt Flood hit a triple, scoring Vaughn and Dalton. Ford actually got greedy and went for an inside the park homer and got cut down. But Randy Reddy and Steve Jeltz. Well, Randy singled and then Jeltz grounded out. So Steve Bedrosian, the Phillies closer, would be coming in to replace Kurt Flood, and Bob Dernier would be in right field. Benny DiStefano struck out. Ray Quinn has singled. R.J. Reynolds came in to pinch hit and struck out looking, and then Cangalese hit a fly ball to left. Final score, Phillies 15, Pirates 11. So the Pirates were outscored 15-1 in 8 innings. They got in an 8 inning span. They were down 15-1. So the Phillies had won. Not one. So that was a huge moment. For the two teams. As the Phillies won, the Pirates didn't. So that was just like, how do you do that? The 89 Phillies would finish 67-95, sixth in the NL East. The Pirates would be 74-88 and finish fifth in the NL East. So the Pirates kind of bounced back. But the funny thing is that Pittsburgh the next year would start their run of winning the NL East, winning 3 straight titles, and the Phillies would be the next team to win the NL East after the Pirates in '93. Of course, because of logistics and all that, Jim Rooker couldn't make the walk home that very day after the Pirates-Phillies game. However, at the end of the season, Rooker made good on his promise and walked the 300 miles from Philadelphia to Pittsburgh and raised money for charity. And it worked in his favor. So good on him for taking his medicine. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.